Why did Mr. Harper respond to the block motion in this way? Is it more political than it is substantive?
Oh, Rex, I guess it's a bit all of this, but on this kind of topic, I try to be above partisan politics and to work with my Prime Minister. When the Prime Minister office phoned me Tuesday evening to ask my advice, since I'm known to be a bit an expert of this kind of things and above partisan politics when Canada is at stake, I told them exactly that. Be sure that it's not Quebec as a legal entity, but Quebecers as a sociological community that we will recognize as a nation. We are in the world of symbolic politics. And if we want to do symbolic politics, we need to do it properly. It's why it's important to insist on the fact that it's not Quebec which is recognized as a nation. It is Quebecers. So it is the sociological sense of the word. That means a community having its own identity within the country. But if it was Quebec, the legal entity, then it would be in contradiction by the fact that it is Canada, which is a nation as a legal entity, a nation with its seat at the United Nations. And the trick that the separatist leaders want to do is to say, aha, you recognize us as a nation. That means, Quebecers, that we cannot stay the province of another nation. Okay. The situation is that many Quebecers consider themselves as a nation in the sociological sense. That means a community having its own identity. And when they hear that the other Canadians don't want to recognize them this way, they are surprised and disappointed. So it is this problem that the motion wants to fix. If we are not aware enough, if we are not vigilant enough, the separatist leaders will play games and will switch from a meaning to another one. And as a leader of my party, if I'm chosen, I think I will be the best one to be sure that this will not happen because I know the file very well. I've been Unity Minister doing 8 years. Okay. As you know, I'm the sponsor of the Clarity Act, and I want clarity, and I don't like when we play with words.
Mr. Dion, be as candid as you can, would it not have been much better if this whole discussion of Quebecers as a nation, at least at this moment, had not begun at all, and obviously it did begin within the context of the Liberal leadership?
Well, it did not begin by me. I think there is a lot of confusion around the word nation. Also, many other communities in Canada may claim to be nations. The First Nations are nations, French Canadians are nations, the Acadians are nations, and so on. And I don't think it's a priority for us to count the number of nations we have in our country. As a leader of the Liberal Party, and I hope Prime Minister of Canada, I will have another priority than...
Okay. Is it all Quebecers who are going to be a nation, or just the Francophone majority?
Let's say it will be the Quebecers who want to be part of it. The sociological meaning of the word nation is a bit subjective. It's linked to the idea of the French political thinker of the 19th century, Ernest Renan, who said the nation in this sense is a kind of a referendum of every day. You are in if you want to be part of it. And so there are many Quebecers that are not necessarily Francophone, but feel, because they share a lot with the life we have in Montreal and elsewhere in Quebec, part of this community to the point that they have no problem to feel part of the Quebec nation, the Quebecois nation. But the point is, though, and we need to make it very clear facing the separatist leaders, that if it's the case, it does not prevent us to be fully Canadian and to be part of the Canadian nation as well, and to be part of the French Canadian nation as well. The word nations mean about three things. First, a community proud of its identity. Second, an ethnic group. And third, a country. And as I said just before, the separatist leaders want to switch from a meaning to another one to make their point. It's why myself I was against the motion that the Quebec wing of the Liberal Party submitted some weeks ago. I took the flak a bit, but I voted against because we were playing the game of the separatist leaders. It was too confused. It was unclear what the word nation meant. And I hear the people that are phoning tonight, and they are indeed The problem is to be a good citizen in the country, you don't need to have a PhD in political science. And we are now since weeks, and it's not my fault. It's not me who wanted that. We are since weeks in a kind of a seminar of political science. And my priorities are not there. As you know, I'm campaigning on the sustainable economy. I want Canada to be the best country to combine economic vitality, social justice, and environmental sustainability. And it is on that I hope to be chosen as the leader of my party.
Well, Mr. Dion, it must take great energy to do a long campaign. I know something about it from the sidelines, so I do wish you well from that point of view, and I sincerely thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Mr.